Hey there, welcome back. If you're watching this, chances are you've worked with SVGs before, or maybe you're just curious and want to learn what they're all about. Now, either way, you're in the right place because today we're diving into the world of SVGs. So, what exactly is an SVG? It stands for Scalable Vector Graphic. The keyword here is vector, which means it's a type of image file that can be resized as big or as small as you want without losing quality. Pretty cool, right? Now here's something that you might not know about SVGs and Templett. Some of them can be ungrouped and fully customized. Let me show you what I mean. Instead of having just one solid graphic that looks like this, you can actually break it down into individual pieces like this. And once they're separated, you can remove any parts you don't need. Let's go ahead and put everything back together. But this time, I'm gonna remove the background. And now, we're just left with the mounds. Now, let's take it a step further. Maybe you're working with a color theme like neutral tones, and the current colors just aren't working. No problem. With SVGs, you can change the colors of specific parts. Now, there are actually two ways to change the colors of an SVG. The first way is to select the individual piece you want to adjust and pick a new color. Perfect for tweaking one specific part of the design. You can either select the piece from the canvas, or if an SVG has a lot of layers, it might be easier to select the piece you want from the layers panel. This method only works if you've already ungrouped the SVG. The second way is to use Templett's color feature to change all instances of a specific color in the SVG at once. With this method, you don't need to ungroup anything. This can be a real time saver, especially if you're working with a complex design. Let's try both methods. With this desert landscape, I'll change the mountain color to a muted green using the first method. Let me undo it real quick, and here's how you do it with the second method. And just like that, voila! We've got the perfect fit for this design. Now, occasionally you might come across an SVG that you can't edit. This usually happens when the SVG has too many paths. So what exactly are paths? In simple terms, paths are the lines or shapes that make up an SVG. Each part of an SVG is created by a path, and the more paths there are, the more complex the image becomes. So it's best to keep SVGs simple. When an SVG has a lot of these paths, it can slow down your browser because your computer is working harder to process all those tiny details. To avoid that and keep your SVG design experience smooth and fast, some SVGs are locked from being edited. It's kind of like working with a really detailed puzzle. If there are too many small pieces, it can get overwhelming for the browser. So, Templett helps out by limiting edits on those extra complex SVGs. This way you can still design without your browser getting boggled down. But don't let that stop you from using them. SVGs are an amazing tool to elevate your designs and make them really stand out. And knowing how to customize them gives you even more creative control. For more tips and inspiration, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification for future videos. And with that, happy designing.